The word entrepreneur originates from the 13th century French verb, meaning to do something or to undertake something. So to be an entrepreneur, you have to have a desire to change your circumstances, to change your society, to change your surroundings, to do something, to undertake something significant and to impact society.
In my entrepreneurial life, I've learned something. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be known by everyone. You just have to be known by the people that need to know you. So how is the problem? What are your target customer? You have to figure out if you are really up for this, because entrepreneurship, like I said, it's not something that people will tell you, oh no, now I was born an entrepreneur. You can be nurtured into an entrepreneur by changing the mindset and the thinking, right?
That as an entrepreneur, you have to be continuously learning. You cannot have a business grow beyond your personal level, your personal development. John Maxwell, your business cannot grow beyond your level of personal development. It will only go up to how far you know.
By the 16th century, the noun form entrepreneur was being used to refer to someone who undertakes a business venture. So it is really about business and venturing into business. That's what entrepreneurship means at its core. Now, an argument or discussion always erupts around this time. Is an entrepreneur made or an entrepreneur is born? Do you become an entrepreneur naturally by virtue of being born that way, with the right DNA, with the right sets of cells, with the right mentality? Or is it something that you have to nurture, cultivate, develop, train? One of the biggest discoveries is that successful communities and entrepreneurship talk about money in the dining table or around the dining table. They don't have a strict delineation between family and business. To succeed, what they're discovering, you need to find a way to bring these two together. So in this program, I found a series of curriculum points or curriculum items, which I believe if we focus on, if we attend to, we'll be able to discover what these successful communities are doing. What is it about them that they are doing? The first characteristic which I mentioned, they discuss business at home. Again, the second one is that they are less inclined to complain. Successful entrepreneurship has to do with the attitude of moving from complaint mode to execution or solution mode. How do we develop that mindset when we have been so browbeaten, so socialized, so acclimatized to the idea that everything is going terrible? Okay? And then this is where now I fight two phenomena that have engulfed us, and I deal with them in this curriculum. These two phenomena, giving excuses and being victims. So there are two diseases that come with these two things. And these are the diseases we are going to fight here, right here, Nalelona. So there are specific techniques, there are specific ways, and they are used by these communities. And I've decided that it's about time we talk about these things. These things are it's enough. We must tell our stories so that we can encourage others. Now I have a colleague, a friend, a younger brother, and also a tenant in the form of Mogomotsi, France. We recently celebrated his massive wedding about a month ago or so. He's here to really add on to what we're talking about. As I mentioned, Hansiki promoter this mentorship program. It's not just me. I bring in experts, I bring industry leaders, I bring captains of industry, I bring people, the cream de la cream, people on top of their game, to also come and help me cultivate this culture of entrepreneurship during this course. And that is part of the value proposition that we bring. We're also creating and strengthening our ecosystem. Again, in strengthening that ecosystem, we have to bring in big players. Mogomotsi France, when he explains what he does, will give you an idea of just what I'm talking about. In addition to that, Negeri, give you a little bit about the value proposition. I won't talk about the money per se. I'll just run through what we say is a curriculum, the things that we intend to cover, so that even France Hagua can touch on some of this. We're going to talk about what exactly is entrepreneurship. Secondly, we're going to talk about trying to understand why 90% of businesses fail. We're going to study successful pitching. We're going to also, like I mentioned earlier, help you understand how to deal with talent. The other thing we are going to cover is the book. And I'm going to help you avoid something that I have experienced myself, a ceiling of complexity. I'm going to show you why you reach that ceiling of complexity. Business is stuck in that. That is, science has already made it easy for us. There are people who've studied this, and I have studied it. I'm going to share with you. We're also going to try and 10x your business. See how we can 10x. The principle is there. How's going to 10x? At least you 7x. Nothing wrong with that. Again, how to grow your business significantly to scale. I'm going to be dealing with bulletproofing your business against failure. People like France can tell you and share failure when 90% of are failing, why we're in the minority 10%. I'm going to also about the startups. Some of you are starting from scratch. I'm going to talk to you about surviving the first 1,000 days. Then we're going to deal with government, how to tap into the current government mindset, agenda change. How to deal with and overcome failure, that is tied up with grit, creating intergenerational wealth. Lastly, appreciating the hustle, the fun part, you know? The hustle is about to you, manat. The hustle, just getting to put fun systems in your ways. There are systems like inviting reference, like, was it 2 months ago, Nabatsile for networking, not networking, team building, but they kept us there for a whole day. And the other ways, but the hustle has to be fun. We're going to understand why Warren Buffett says he literally, I tap dance to work every morning. I'm giving you value proposition. I'm giving you an asset. You know, it's worth roughly 200,000 or more. May have compressed it because of numbers, because of dynamics, because of volunteerism into 10,000 pula over 6 months. And I'm giving you an opportunity to pay as you please. We can just decide in your own mind, you'll pay how much value. For instance, if I say something or I deliver something that says, aha, there's an epiphany, this makes a difference, you know, then you pay. Yeah, but let's not take Mr. Francis' time. It's your time, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Feel free to wipe this and to write whatever you want to write.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Are we good? Yeah. Perfect. All right. Tota had started ki introduce ki bidwa Mogomotsi Patrick France. As I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I'll say by heart, but I think I never really thought I was an entrepreneur before, because entrepreneurship is a new thing to our land this side. I mean, if you think about it, about 60% of businesses in Botswana were started after 2010. Clearly, this is a new phenomenon. We're still learning what it is to be an entrepreneur. And I'm so happy and glad to see a number of people finding it in themselves, not only to part with our money, but just the intention to come and learn about entrepreneurship, because you are asking yourself also, and how can I position myself as such, all right? Because we all start in our different roots, and we start with our different industries, our different tracks in terms of where we are from. Some started by Bereka, some started, they want to go into this thing called entrepreneurship. But no one really knows what it is, and we're confusing it. Sometimes entrepreneurs call themselves entrepreneurs. I get, and it's not even sustainable. All right. But what I like also about the program, I like to say this, is that you even motivational speakers always talk about how Usain Bolt had a coach for the rest of his career. I get. Every person who becomes successful has someone who holds them, who hold them over the years. All right. I can tell you over my 10-year entrepreneurial journey, because over the 17 years of my work life, I'll say, the first 7 years I was an employee, and the past 10 years I have been an entrepreneur, and I'm continuing to be an entrepreneur. But in that 10 years, I've enrolled in so many programs which shaped my trajectory in the journey of entrepreneurship. The first program I remember joining was called Glow Base. It was a layer program. It was in partnership with the Kelly School of Business. Took me to the States back, and the guys came here mentoring, helping us with the business. The second one I enrolled in was the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Went to Chicago with Northwestern University into the entrepreneurship program. Came back and implemented everything that we were taught there, and continuously had the support and the network. Right? That's the key thing about programs like this. You also get the network. The other one that we have currently enrolled in. Think about it. As a business, where we are right now, we're still enrolling in programs. We have enrolled in the Stanford Seed program. It's a 10 months. It's a 10-month program, which is an entrepreneurship program that helps businesses that want to scale. Because we have, like Mr. Mogobe was saying, you get to a point where you are making a certain amount, especially in Botswana, but now you want to scale and grow outside Africa. With that program, Stanford Seed, I've had the opportunity to go to countries like Kenya. I recently, 2 days ago, came back from Ghana, met multi-millionaires and billionaires in the African landscape. So clearly, what we need to be thinking about is how do we cultivate this mindset of entrepreneurships, and enrolling in programs is one of them. I like using quotes. So there's a quote that I like hearing: if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Right? You know it, right? The moment you start looking at yourself as an entrepreneur, the thinking changes. The things you see change. The moment you start thinking abundance, things change. You start seeing a lot of things. When you think like a poor person, the moment you start thinking like a wealthy person, things change. I'll give you an example. Which car do you like, sir? Mercedes Benz. I want to have how games to Sabana Mercedes Benz. What one little 2015. I get what M4. Look on what I baby the Mompoloki la game city. When I'm about the Mercedes here, and as I'm about the M4. Like see, there's something in your mind called reticular activating system that deals with awareness. I can't teach you anything, I can make you aware of something. So once you activate that, you're able to see opportunities, or you're able to see things that you're focusing on, right? That's why that quote, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, for me is so powerful. Because what you are saying by you coming here is, I want to change the way I'm looking at things. I want to look at things as an entrepreneur, right? So when I started in my journey, insurance, and now I was so good at it because I was the best insurance salesperson for 4 consecutive years before I became a sales manager. I think I was a better salesperson than an entrepreneur because I didn't know what entrepreneurship was, as I said. All right, started selling insurance and working for an insurance company as an agent. I think here I'm helping these people and selling them these products, but there's so many gaps. This guy's pain points. Remember, in entrepreneurship, we solve problems. We look at pain points, right? I'm looking at these guys. What I'm giving them as a solution is not actually a solution to their problem. In most cases, as entrepreneurs, what we do is, or as we think we're entrepreneurs, there's a book actually, one of them, Mr. Mogobe, you recommend to them, it's called E-Myth by Mecca E. Geber. Yes. It talks about entrepreneurship myth. A lot of people that start businesses are not really entrepreneurs, but are technicians who are suffering from entrepreneurial seizure. All right? A lawyer goes out and opens a legal business. I can become Mr. Mogobe. Okay. An accountant, an accounting business. An engineer, an engineering business. Just because you think that you can do the work, you think you can build a business that way. You have to learn. There's a whole lot of thinking around this thing called entrepreneurship and building a business. Right. So and that's the mistake we do mostly. What we do is we create a product and think that we can give it to the market. We don't. There's something called design thinking. One of the things that as you invite me, we'll talk about is design thinking, how to develop products. All right. We'll talk about business model canvas. All right, including that value proposition and just understanding your business. Yes. All right, and also on the finance side of the business, and even sales. Right. Yes. So we tend to create a product and then take it to the market and think that that product is market fit. All right, or we try to solve the problems that we think exist, not the problems that exist. Right. So what I was seeing when I was helping these guys with the insurance products was that I was selling them products. When I carpenter that comes with a hammer, everything to them is a nail. So I was selling them. I was forcing them, like you do say. Right? You can sell me. I gotta have it. You know, because as I'm a salesman, I also bring you some sales nuggets. A good salesman sells an ice to an Eskimo. That's a lie. A great salesperson doesn't do that. They find a need and they provide a solution. But what we do as me and you, we'll bring a funeral plan and we'll sell it to someone even if they don't need it, even if bananas don't deliver it. And even our companies tell us to do that because they're looking at the numbers. So that's what I was doing. I was selling products. But then I realized, so these products that I'm giving these guys are not necessarily solving their pain points. Because these guys are struggling. They don't even know how to budget. I realized that. They don't know if these guys really talk about the concept of creating intergenerational wealth, financial planning, all those things that I received so many because I was a mass presentation person. I'm still am. My sales is more mass, right? I came out one-on-one after mass. I always got this feedback about it. Meaning what? Meaning because no one has ever taught them about financial literacy ever since Batsana school from primary. So I like financial literacy. And yes, of course, I was selling them a product that was not solving all their problems. And then I realized, no. By the way, selling insurance for that 4 years, and then because most companies, when you are the best at what you are doing, you know what they do? They make you a manager, and that's the worst mistake they do. Because it doesn't mean if you know how to sell, you can manage salespeople. Still have a lot of skills to learn, interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, leadership skills, all those, right? But I became a sales manager, 2 years, but I got bored because I still no one of that thing. We think entrepreneurship bag. No one of that thing saying was at least they hadn't know about to you on the field. But now you are here in the office manager agents. By nature we're all born entrepreneurs. We can have the mindset in how we can think. It's all about the mindset. Right? It's all about looking at things differently. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Any comment, questions, additions, Era?
It's a more of a question and advice type of thing, whereby you put advice in over support.
Okay.
Recently, I had an argument with a friend of mine who recently, from the experience that I had with the time that I've been having in the entrepreneur space, I've been finding very hard I feel like I'm steps ahead of everybody else around. Even if I integrate with people that are co-mentors, there's a point that I reach where I'm like, so it has led me to take a step where I'm catching up everybody and deciding to sit with myself to my own studies and my own destinations. His argument was, I need to be around people. I need to integrate myself with maybe a different environment so that I can scale up. My argument was, no, maybe I should build myself first, establish myself as an empire, and then that's when I can reach out to other empires to seek diversity and growth. Where now
Nakari, if you want to be in this journey of entrepreneurship, you cannot approach it by thinking you know everything. Right? You must be like a sponge. You must be learning continuously. But at the same time, as you learn, right? As you learn and become a better person, you must also realize that if you are the smartest in the room, you're in the wrong room. Right? So you must always surround yourself with people that are better than you. Actually, I was still one of the concepts, it's not mine. One of the guys, I know that. But it's a rule that I use. It's called the law of 33, okay? Yeah, I spend 33% of your time with people that are below you. These are people that they can learn something from you. And then spend 33% of your time with people that are like-minded. These are people that you're going somewhere, you have the same hunger. And then spend 33% of your time with people that earn 100,000 times, 1 million times, 10 times, many times more than you. These are people that inspire you, right? Okay, I get inspired by Mr. Mogobe and others. I get it, but I get because he has built so much that I look up to. I get it. So clearly, you have to have people like this in your life. But what do we do? Because we're not rata go gatella batho re batla go nna le ba hela ba ke go nne le kgo e rata go nna magoa kana batswana go ra o tsena go ga e ontse ma 20 pula le mo spachinyana o re ka dire wa le mo ntsa madi o tle mo go nne le kgo tse extend where hara di go ira magae. But we do that to tala rona rata bogo. I think in Mogomotsi we need to unwire. You unwire, rewire, right? Unlearn, relearn, because we come from where nere hose sharp in terms of tagrezaka in Mr. Mogomotsi new. So hands hola re batla go improve because I'm an extended family. Like re batla go support ya yang tentsa tlhogo. Again, how runs a tlhogo again well what pull him down syndrome. Okay, so there's many of those things. Okay, clearly we need to some of those mindset. Those are some of the mindset you have to detach from, right? But to answer your question, not to answer, but to just comment on your question, because I don't have all the answers. It's just for you to understand that you have to build yourself, but at the same time, as you build, there's nothing wrong with spending less time with people that you see around. In terms of the progress. You know, if you've got 4 broke friends, guess who's the 5th? You. Financial literacy, you've got 5 friends around you, but for a Giamadi guy. Obviously, we're now Giamadi. So, but even though you have to balance, you have got different people that add different things to your life, right? But at least figure out so that it is developed system. One last thing is that what I realized in business though is that, like I said, if you're the smartest in the room, you're in the wrong room. I decided intentionally to hire people that were smarter than me for 2 reasons and many more. One being that I'll be able to learn from them and help them because I hire people to solve problems, which means they don't look to me to solve the problems. Right? 2, it means that they can run the business without. You see, even Nelson Mandela said something very profound. Ari, great leaders are the last to speak.
So let me say thank you. If you want to say, we're about to bring another trailblazer to the stage. If you don't mind just staying long enough. So a round of applause.
How many of you know cricket tuition? Okay. Anyone who has never heard of cricket? If you have never heard of cricket, how you love something called cricket? Okay, only one person. 2. Okay. So I founded cricket in the year 2017. That's the project there, Longore. It allows me the opportunity to be standing before you today. As you know, cricket is an educational service provider, predominantly more tuitioning right now, but we have aspirations to go further in the education field, like to do schools and even tertiary level of education. So today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of mentorship, because when you start out in business, there's a lot that you need to pass through. There's a lot that you need to do, and in most important KD decision, business takes you through a series of decisions that you have to make on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Some decisions are minor that you can easily make on your own, but in many cases you'll have decisions that are measure, and they can take your business forward, or sometimes they can even close down your business if you don't get the right advice. So mentorship, whereby you have to make business decisions, and you look at someone where they have been in the business before for many years. They know what to do in that situation, because some of us, it will be the first time you are taking on a business or run a business, and some of the decisions that you are going to make, the person you consider your mentor before, why is if you do this is the result they are taking. You don't have to gamble ka idea thing kana ka madi a gago mme go na le motho ene gore o hitile go ka go bolella gore go dirwa jang. Yeah, so that's on mentorship. Someone once said is two ways. You can put your hand in the fire to feel that a fire burns. You can put your hand in the fire to feel that it burns, and your hand will get burnt. But also, you can have someone tell you, no, this thing burns. You don't have to stick your hand inside it, because it's going to burn you. So that is mentorship. Mentorship, he has already put his hand in the fire, and he knows what this one will burn. And the reason why he will tell you is because he has been burned before in that particular situation. And when you come for mentorship, for advice, business advice, you are accepting that maybe you don't know much, and you are willing to learn. You don't come for mentorship with only full with your content, decision you're making, but you know force your mentor to agree with what you are thinking. You come on an open mind to know what, okay, in the series of decisions that I want to make, or in the decision that I want to make, I stand to be corrected. I might be wrong. I might have been excited by the projections, but the projections still they excited you. Are they going to be feasible in a rural place? You know, sometimes you can make projections and say, if I can just have 100 customers, I know I can quit my job tomorrow and run this thing full time. But can this work? Maybe there isn't that much buying power for your business. So mentorship comes in that way, and it will advise you, it will counsel you. But at the end of the year, you are the one who's going to make the decision. Where am I going to take my business forward? Am I going to start with this or that? So in sort of a way, in a big way, mentorship is to reduce the risks that you are going to expose yourself to as a startup entrepreneur. So now about my book, there's a book I have written. Title is Becoming an Entrepreneur. I wrote this book, I think it's 2018. I wrote the book in 2018, but then later on I met Saidi Mdala and we revised the book. So the first version is different from this. Probably if you are one of the people who bought the first version, it will be a bit different from this, that we upgraded it to make it more relevant to our market. So from the book Hella, these are the things that you can pick. We have characteristics of an entrepreneur. So you can sit down with yourself and look at the characteristics of an entrepreneur if you possess those, and if really the journey of entrepreneurship is what you are willing to take. So that's what the chapter will teach you about. And then it will take you through the models of entrepreneurship. Or an entrepreneurship is different. There are people who decide to, who can do it as a, what do you call this, social entrepreneurship. There's social entrepreneurship. Sometimes, this entrepreneurship is capital based, and Yes, yet maybe we're not a social entrepreneur, only more generous. You don't want to charge customers, you want to give out services for free, and you might find that how this other entrepreneurship where you have to make profit, it might not be for you, but we're now to give to be a social entrepreneur. So it will just show you the different yeah, I believe there are some people who are not by idea with support their big companies. Big companies will give into the NGOs and they'll be able to run courses like education, activations. So they are helping humanity, and you know that's their calling. We can say that is their calling, and how we are a profit-making business. We can not generate too much or profitable. So that's the models of entrepreneurship, and then like coming up with a feasible business idea, like the feasibility test an idea. The chapter will take you through those. Can you look into a business idea and say, is this feasible? Can this business work in this environment, in this market? Jalo jalo. Then the next chapter, do your due diligence. Testing an idea further, we run market research, looking into the business idea, we test that before you can actually implement it. And then the other chapter here, vision, excellence and innovation. It talks about coming up with a vision for your business. As you launch it, as you execute it, some certain level of innovation, excellence, it will set it apart from the rest. Then the next chapter is about raising capital. I guess a lot of people excuse in Botswana is that I have an idea but I don't have capital. It's hard to get money from SEDA, it's hard to get money from the bank. But what do I do to start? So there's a chapter that will give you ideas on raising capital besides going to SEDA or to a bank or Mr. Mogobe's office. And then there's a chapter on when to quit your job. When do you quit your job? If you are working already and you are starting a side hustle, when is the right time to quit and go all out on your business and say, no, the business will be able to pay me, so I wouldn't suffer if I quit my job. So when do you tell that the business has arrived at a level where a side hustle in a full-time commitment? Then the next chapter says, get ready to fail before you succeed. The reality of entrepreneurship, as you're going to learn from Mr. Mogobe, is that you are going to fail, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose lots of money in the process. So, it's a secret. You're going to lose money. And some of you here have already lost lots of money in trying to bring your businesses to life, in trying to sustain your businesses, in trying to save your business from closing down. So it's part of the deal, but Mr. Mogobe will teach you more on how you can do it in a way that it's calculated risks in the process. You don't just lose money for the sake of losing money. Then there's a chapter on lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is we refer to it as personal development. So what Mr. Mogobe will teach you mostly on that as an entrepreneur you have to be continuously learning. You cannot have a business grow beyond your personal level, your personal development. John Maxwell, your business cannot grow beyond your level of personal development. It will only go up to how far you know. So that's where lifelong learning is part of the entrepreneurship deal. You read continuously. You read extensively on the subject of entrepreneurship, on managing money, managing employees, sales. And then there's a chapter on handling business money. One of the things we don't know how to differentiate media business personally. Media business where now you're going to be spending on the business money as if you are spending on your personal account. And then next thing come month end, you can't pay rent, you can't pay salaries, you can't even buy stock if you are into stock. So there's a chapter that will take you through that. Then there's a chapter on women in business. That was just a motivation for women, because it seems like for a long time, the male sex has dominated the business industry. But there are women who have done very well in business. And if you're a woman, this chapter will inspire you with the examples of women who have succeeded in business. Then the last chapter is on planning and time management. That is a very important aspect. Or the most valuable asset that you are going to start with is time. You're going to have to know how to manage your time, and that your time is not free. If at all you give someone your time, it has to be worth it. It has to be something selling, or it's taking your business forward. That is the working hours that you are going to set for yourself. The moment you say you are working on your business full time, you'll find that you have a lot of time, but it's not the case. That time may feel but there's a lot that you need to do. There is a lot that you have to allocate your time business forward. And if you are not focused, if you are not clear about where you are going, on your time, and you are pushing the things is adding value to any of you. So that is what the book entails. So the book we are going to, I think it's going for 120. I made it very affordable. I know it could go for more than that, but keep it affordable so that everybody, the student, it was yeah, that's on the book. I don't know if we have any questions.
Never underrate the value of small beginnings. I may be paraphrasing, but words to that effect. Never dismiss small beginnings, because even the huge netland, a country similarly, Sidinya na ikananya.